What is up, everybody? My name is Ali and welcome to, once again, another Dragon Quest XI video. I am really happy to be bringing this video to you guys today because, whoa, it has been, I don't know, it's literally been like 2 days since I recorded another Dragon Quest XI video, but every single time I record news, my heart just warms up because I'm so fucking hyped for Dragon Quest XI. And in this video, we have some more news to be discussing, and that news is the monster mount system of Dragon Quest XI. Now, if you were watching any of the trailers for Dragon Quest XI, or you watched the PS4 gameplay for Dragon Quest XI, you know what I'm talking about regarding the monster mount system. The monster mount system is basically a new system, I believe, exclusive to Dragon Quest XI, which essentially you kill a monster and then you are able to ride that monster, and you are able to traverse around terrains and areas that you wouldn't be able to get to on foot. So that's going to be really cool, and we're going to be analyzing some screenshots today, and we're going to be analyzing the articles along with those screenshots, and we're going to be learning more and more about the monster mount system. So here we go, my friend, here we go. Dragon Quest XI article, ba-bam. This one is titled Monster Ride. By borrowing the unique powers of monsters, the protagonist can reach places normally limited by his own power, including climbing walls and flying in sky. By riding monsters, you can overcome these obstacles. Okay, so basically what's happening in this screenshot, as we're looking right here, we see the protagonist riding what seems to be a skeleton monster of some sort, and the caption for this screenshot says, by riding a monster, you can even climb up steep cliffs, oh my god, steep cliffs, Ali, steep fucking cliffs. I'm gonna restart that quote. It says right here on this caption, by riding a monster, you can even climb up steep cliffs that would normally block your path. So that's basically what they're saying right there. The steep cliffs that you can climb up in Dragon Quest XI, usually, you know, they would usually block your path, and it's like, oh, I need to get something up there, but I can't, like, actually walk up the cliff. I know in Dragon Quest VIII, it's like, walk all the way around, and I don't feel like doing that. But now, you can kill a monster that can go up these cliffs, like this skeleton guy that we're looking at right here, and you can traverse on walls and stuff with this man. Now, if you look closely at this one, we can see that there are paw prints on the wall. Now, I'm assuming that the paw prints on the wall indicate where you can walk up the wall. I don't think you can just, like, free roam on the wall. I don't think you can walk anywhere you want. I think it's a certain path that you're only able to climb on that path. Like, if anyone played Tomb Raider before, you know how there was like a certain area that you just knew you were able to climb on, and when you use your survival instincts, you saw like, ooh, that's highlighted in yellow. This is kind of what that is. There probably isn't going to be like a vision mode where you're able to see that on the fly, but you know, it's pretty easy to see. You know, it's pretty easy to see in my opinion, and that's going to be really cool for if anyone wants to traverse along those terrains and stuff like that. That's going to be a really cool feature, and I like that a lot because I know it's a problem in Dragon Quest VIII. Now, we got another screenshot. This one is the exact same thing except on the 3DS. The tracks on the walls look just like, you know, white tracks. They're nothing too detailed, but basically this guy is in a dungeon of some sort, and he's going over a little ledge that he wouldn't be able to go over on foot. So that's really cool. I like that portion a lot. And then we have another 3DS screenshot, but instead the game is in 2D mode, and it's really hard to see this one, at least for me it is right now. But basically on this one we can see that he is climbing up a wall on the skeleton thing, and if you look closely you can't really see the protagonist riding the monster. It really just shows the sprite for the monster. So that's gonna be that's also something to take into account when I'm playing on 2D mode. 2D mode looks lit. I'm just saying that right now. 2D mode looks really lit in Dragon Quest XI. Now on 2D mode, I'm wondering how you know where to climb up walls, because I don't know if you can climb up walls anywhere. Maybe in 2D mode you can kind of do it anywhere you want. That would be awesome if that's the case, but I don't know if that's the case, because based on the view I have, you can't really see where the paw prints are for you to climb on 2D mode, but we won't dwell on that too much. Now moving on to the next screenshot where we analyze a different monster that you can ride on. This one is a dragon, and this says the caption, ride a monster to fly in places that you cannot pass through on foot. Okay, so this is where I gain a lot of questions. Okay, so looking at this screenshot right here, we actually see this in the opening. We see this, I believe, in a tiny piece of gameplay in one of the trailers, and we see it in the opening of Dragon Quest XI, so that's really cool. I do want to kind of emphasize, though, I really am very confused on the whole flying aspect. Yes, you can fly, but like, can you elevate your monster? Can you, like, de-elevate your monster? Can you lower down? Can you higher up? Because if that's the case, then the whole point of crawling up on walls, the whole point, well, not the whole point, but, like, crawling up on walls and, you know, getting other monsters for other things are kind of useless. Like, if this dragon can literally bring you anywhere and you can fly wherever you want, that doesn't seem like you'd be able to do it. Now, that doesn't seem like, you know, there would be any use for the other monsters, you know what I mean? Now, my prediction, right? My prediction is that these monsters that we're looking at right here, the dragons, I assume that you can only fly at a certain height. You can only fly at, like, a max height. It's not going to be, like, at the top of the map, but you can fly at a max height, and there are still going to be things above you, but you'll be able to get to the general areas that those dragons should be able to get to. You'll be able to get to certain areas below you. You probably will be able to land anywhere on the ground if you please, but I don't think these dragons will be savable. I don't know if you, I mean, there is a saddle on them, so you might be able to just take them from, like, towns and stuff. That would be really cool if that was the case, but I really don't know. I mean, the saddles on them are from previous enemies, which we will talk about later in the video, but basically, in short, my assumption is that you can only fly at a certain height and you can only land on certain spots at the map depending on their height and whether they're below you or above you. I assume that if they're below you, you can land on them, and if they're too high above you, you can't land on them. So moving on to the next screenshot, which still regards the dragon, we are looking at a 3DS screenshot of what I believe is the exact same spot. I believe that's the exact same spot that the guy is in on the PS4 version. Instead, he's just on the 3DS version. So that's really awesome. I like seeing that dragon. Then we on the 3DS version in 2D mode, and I don't know if he's in the exact same spot, but he's in a very similar area, and he's also flying on the dragon. Like I said before, your sprite pops up of the monster, but you don't actually pop up on the monster in the 2D mode for 3DS, so that's something to take into account when you want to play on 2D mode. And now let's go to the other section. So we discussed two of the monsters and how they are, how, like, the two fields of monsters operate. Some will fly, and some will be able to crawl on walls and stuff. We got the skeleton guy, and we got that dragon thing. So now in this portion of the video, we will be talking about how you actually get the monsters and how you end up riding them. Here it says, let's ride a monster. Among the game's monsters, there are those that you can ride, defeat it in battle, and hop aboard. Now, for the bundle of screenshots regarding this stuff, it says, if you challenge a monster and defeat it in battle, you will be able to ride the monster you defeat. So based on the screenshot we're looking at right now, this is the dragon thing that I was just talking about for a couple minutes, and this thing right here, he is being ridden by another human, so you actually have to fight this guy, because as you can see right now, we're in a fighting mode. It pans over to the enemy before you start the battle, and that's basically what we're doing right now. We're about to fight this guy, and then we look at this 3DS screenshot, and we're also in fighting mode as we're looking at these enemies. Those are the skeleton things from the very first screenshots that we saw that crawl the walls. So if you kill those things, then the skeleton things will eventually go on your side. Well, not go on your side, but they'll become, like, free for use, you know? They'll become free for use just for transportation purposes. And then looking at this next screenshot, we have the once ridden dragon, but now he has no rider, and now we are eligible to ride the dragon. And then we are looking at this 3DS screenshot where we are now eligible to ride the skeleton monster thingy. So that's going to be really awesome. I really enjoyed that aspect of Dragon Quest XI, and I really enjoy that it's on not only the PS4 version, but on the 3DS version as well. I really enjoy that they're implementing that into both of the games. I really like that a lot. You cannot understand my excitement for this. Like, holy ball sacks. Okay, so now we have this other screenshot of a new monster. We also have some new monsters in Dragon Quest XI. Not only are they monsters that you can ride, but they are monsters that we actually know from somewhat before. At least this one we've seen before. This one right here, my friends, is called a bee rider. This monster is called a bee rider, an elite in the Aquavault world that rides a giant bee. They skillfully combine excuse me, let me read that again. They skillfully combined the needle of the bee and their own lance to attack their enemies. There's a spelling error right there, but you get the gist. You get the gist. So basically they're saying that, so for those of you that haven't watched my previous video on this, the Aquavault, this right here is an elite Aquavault riding on a bee, and essentially the name of the monster is just called Bee Rider in general. But what this is, it's an Aquavault, which is a monster that was announced in a previous video that I did a couple months ago. The Aquavault was announced, and it's just a monster, walking around with a sword. He resembles a goblin or a gremlin, if I do say so myself very much. And this right here is an elite Aquavolt, and he has a mask on, which kind of signifies that he's an elite, and he's riding a bee, so it seems like he's a soldier of some sort, and that makes him a bee rider, and that makes him eligible to ride the bee, hence his name, the elite Aquavolt. So that's going to be really cool. And looking at this next screenshot, there is a caption for it saying, hop aboard the bee rider to get to the other side of the lake. So this caption shows the bee riders walking around doing yada yada yada, and then I assume based on this next screenshot right here of you on the bee riding over the lake, you can obviously see that you destroyed the Aquavolt on the bee rider, and now you're able to ride the bee across the lake. So as I was saying before, like, the bee cannot fly at any altitude it wants to fly. It can only fly on the bottom of the map. So let's say you want to fly over some lava or any like terrain that you can't just walk over, but it's right there across, and you can actually get there if you just had something to like hover over while getting there. Now the bee rider is the perfect monster to ride for that mission. The dragon necessarily is more for high places if you want to get to high areas on the map. So as I was saying before, I hope you understand that fully now, that, you know, that's not all I'm talking about. I'm talking about, you know, not just the altitude and stuff. I'm not just talking about like, oh, you can fly here, you can fly there. I mean, like, you know, but depending on what monster you have, it really does matter. It really does matter depending on what monster you have. I'm sorry if I overcomplicate things, I apologize. But looking at this next screenshot, it's literally the same thing, but on the 3DS. We have the Aquavolt going to our protagonist, and then we have another screenshot of the protagonist riding the bee rider across the lake. So that's really cool. I'm really liking that a lot. I'm really liking that. Now, that was the first new monster. Then we have our last bundle of screenshots right here, and we're almost done, guys. We're almost done. This one right here is the last bit of screenshots regarding a new monster called the Pearl Mobile. Now, this one really caught my eye in one of the trailers. We saw this one in one of the trailers for Dragon Quest XI, and this one is, the description for this one says, a machine made of an unknown metal that has the radiance of a pearl. It shoots out a dangerous gas that numbs the body when it showers over it. That's awesome, dude. That's awesome. So it's basically like a dude in a machine, and once you kill the dude in the machine, you get to ride inside that machine. So I remember seeing that in the trailer, and I was like, holy crap, that's awesome. So we looking at this screenshot right now, we can see two Pearl Mobiles standing right in front of us, and hopefully we're going to fight them eventually if we just walk up to them. And then it says actually in the caption for this screenshot, jump inside the Pearl Mobile to leap to high places. So basically, this one lets you leap to high places, while other ones lets you crawl to high places. So, you know, as I said, while like on a technicality standpoint, you can technically crawl to any area that you want. Like in real life, if that was the case, if there was like a monster in real life and you wanted to crawl to places, you could really just crawl wherever you want. But in you know, it's a video game. They're only going to allow you to crawl to certain areas. They're only going to allow you to hop to certain areas. You're not going to be able to crawl to where you can hop. You're not going to be able to hop to where you can crawl. I hope you're understanding my gist when I say that. So let's move on to this next screenshot where we see us inside the Pearl Mobile. We see us controlling it, and we're obviously hopping around, having a dandy time. And then moving on, we have another screenshot of the exact same thing on the 3DS version. It shows us about to fight a Pearl Mobile, and then it shows us riding in a Pearl Mobile. And there's a button on the ground in this screenshot for some reason. I'm assuming that during this time we're like doing a puzzle of some sort within Dragon Quest XI, but that is really cool, and I really enjoyed that a lot. I really like that a lot. I hope that you guys did enjoy this video a lot, along with all those screenshots, the new monsters, the new monster mount system. Let's try to go over basically everything that we went over in this video in like 2 minutes. So we went over the monster ride, where you are able to ride on monsters that can crawl to certain areas, that can fly to certain areas, that can jump to certain areas. Each monster does different things, and there are probably different monsters in the same category as well. I don't assume that there is just one dragon or just one skeleton monster. I assume there's a skeleton monster and then another weird monster that does the exact same thing as the skeleton monster, you know? That's going to be really cool. That's going to be really awesome. I can't wait for that. And then we got all those screenshots, and then we got the Let's Ride a Monster, which allows you to kill a monster and then allow it to be by your side so you can traverse to a different area. And then we got the new monsters, which were the Bee Rider and the Pearl Mobile. So tell me, did you enjoy this Dragon Quest XI news video? How do you feel about the monster mount system? Because personally, I like it a lot. I think it's a really good system in Dragon Quest XI that should be used a lot more. But I'm liking it. I'm liking it. I really cannot wait for this. I feel like it's going to be really something that enhances the gameplay of Dragon Quest, and I cannot freaking wait for it. I cannot exaggerate that enough. Please tell me if you enjoyed this video. Do not forget to tell me in the comments down below. Do not forget to tell me in the comments down below if you like the monster mount system, what your thoughts are on Dragon Quest XI's monster mount system. Do not forget to tell me if you enjoyed this video by clicking that like button down below. And last but not least, do not forget to click that subscribe button if you want to see more of that Dragon Quest XI greatness. I'll see you later, my party members. My name is Ellie G, and deuces.